Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Gaming Landscape Podcast. This is episode 11, and as always, I'm honored to be among my co-host, Lumio.
Hello, glad to be back yet again. Let's see what we get this week or this episode. More than than a week.
Yeah, the week is
It's
about
been
to
more than
end.
a week.
But yeah, let's switch over to the agenda, because this time we actually, as the first time, we're going to show you on YouTube. And if you're listening, we're also going to, of course, read it up for you, the agenda, so you actually know exactly what this episode is going to be about. Normally, we had the structure where you got surprised, but this time we're going to put out the agenda so you know what you're going to listen to the next 1 hour. So let's switch over to the agenda. So as we can see on the screen, and maybe you cannot see because you're sitting in your car and driving, I'm going to read it up for you. The first topic we're going to talk about is the League of Legends MMO, because they have basically opened up a new website with some exciting news. So we're going to start with that one. Secondly, we're going to talk about Blizzard's new survival MMO, which is a brand new MMO. Well, sorry, not a survival MMO. It's basically just a survival game. It's just a survival game.
Okay.
So think of Valheim meets Blizzard, something in that order. And
That looks very promising.
yeah, I mean, Blizzard is always doing quality, but yeah, coming back to that one. And thirdly, just 1 hour ago, Elder Scrolls Online has shown the newest expansion, which we are gonna also talk about. And I saw the whole live stream, so I know exactly everything that happened. So I'm gonna put it out and let you know, Alumnia, what exactly happened. And fourthly, we're gonna talk about Lost Ark release, because that is away in, well, basically it's releasing in 12 days. And last of all, one of my very good friends, Boast, you probably also know him, Alumio.
Yeah, I do.
He is working on a game. He's actually working for a game company now, and I think he's working on 3 games. And the first one, Beyond Contact, is actually on early access on Steam now. So because we're friends, I promised him to showcase it on the stream. Sorry, not the stream, the podcast. And he was so kind to give me actually 5 keys that we can.
Ooh.
Yeah, and the game actually costs it costs literally money. You have to buy it. So we're giving out 5 keys today on this podcast, which you can redeem and play a game. And Illumio, don't use the keys.
I'll wait a week before trying.
Yeah, goodbye. I should try that also scene. Okay. So that was the agenda. So again, everyone, welcome to Gaming Landscape Podcast. This is the agenda for all the topics we're going to talk about, and we're just going to head directly into it. So let's talk about the League of Legends MMO. So basically, it's an MMO which we haven't seen any gameplay of. We haven't seen any. Well, literally, we know nothing about the game. And the only thing we know is that one of the producers of the game, you can say one of the leaders of the game, where, for example, with Core Punk, is Eugene, who's basically the producer. He is called the producer, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But the producer on League of Legends MMO is actually Ghostcrawler, which I don't know. Do you know who his is?
Yeah, I think he's from. He was a big name from WoW, I think.
Yeah, exactly. He was
Raids
working.
and stuff.
Right now they have Ion, which is doing a lot of what WoW is going to do. But he was
Yeah.
that guy, and he was also very active on the World of Warcraft forums. He had this Ghostcrawler icon, pretty famous from the WoW times. But now he's going to help League of Legends, well, Riot Games, to make a new MMO, which I think is a great thing, because I mean he was working on WoW when it was one of the great times. So I believe he can do something good. But Illumio, they have posted a website here, which is basically saying, yes, it's true, we are making an MMO. And as you can see in the picture, it's basically showing and for the people who cannot see it, it's showing a picture of a small lady with a lumber sword, lumber sword, walking among a lot of big knights. I believe this means that we are not going to play as the heroes. We are going to play as a new adventure in the world full of heroes.
Yeah, I think it's a very plausible take to make, just to the fact that the characters in like League of Legends, the universe, are so iconic
Hmm.
that I don't know. In my opinion, it feels cheap that you if you'd make people play as them, just like sort of devalues
Yeah,
their existence, because you're gonna be seeing a bunch of characters like the same character running around,
yeah,
and I don't think that would sit that well. Of course, they could always do the Marvel heroes route, where they just that happens and everyone running around the same character.
uh,
It's very common. I don't think Riot would go that way,
hmm,
would go down that line with that approach, because sort of I think it affects the immersion of the game feel a lot.
yeah.
Plus, I would think personally, I would think a lot of people would like to meet the characters and learn more about them,
Oh
and
yeah,
actually like be playing them. Um,
yeah. Because like in League of Legends, how many heroes do they have? 100.
it's 140 something or whatever, like something like that. It's a big number.
Yeah, so that would be that. No, it wouldn't be a good thing. It's definitely best they I mean, it should be like in World of Warcraft, where basically you know Thrall, you know Sylvanas, you know Anduin. Those should be standing somewhere where you know they stand and you can talk with them. And the same League of Legends should do, you know, I can't even name a single hero in League of Legends, but you know,
Yeah,
they should
Ari, Zeraf, there's a bunch.
exactly they should stand like somewhere and you know where they are in the campaign. You can maybe choose a faction and play with, you know, all that things.
Um, but so we knew this page because it came out a while ago. I think it was during basically the time that we weren't able to record. Um, so it's been a while since this page has been out.
Mm,
And I think since then there's always been like a small tweet here and there from Ghost Crawler
yeah,
that sort of adds a little bit to the what we know
yeah.
of the game, which is still close to nothing. We don't even know if it's a 3D game or if it's going to be a top-down like League of Legends. And there's a debate in of itself in there, like if we think that it was going to be 3D or if we think it's going to be um, top-down. And there's points for both. There's points for
Mm,
both to say for both sides of the argument.
yeah.
Um, yeah, you're going to say something?
No, no, no. Well, I'm gonna give you my opinion, but I'm just gonna read this page here, and then I will give you my opinion about what I
Okay.
think. But on this page here, they're saying, no, you're not dreaming. We're working on an MMORPG based in the League of Legends universe. We know MMOs take a lot of people to create, and we'll need a pretty big raid team if we want to bring Rutero to life. That's why you come in. We'll periodically post new roles, blah, 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 blah. So basically, they are searching for new people. They want to hire a lot of people because they know they really need people for this game because it's, yeah. And an MMO just takes a lot of people to make. For example, right now they're looking for gameplay engineers, game designers, UX design, game art, game production, and so on. But this website here, yeah, now we can see like benefits of working there. We don't need to mention that. But I just thought this article here, even with the picture here and all that, because it's basically confirming no, you're not gonna play as the heroes, and it's gonna be like it's not gonna be a game where they're just gonna put two people on it, like some of MMOs feels like. But it
Yeah.
feels like this game is gonna be they're basically trying to take down Blizzard from the crown of MMOs and say we're gonna take over that crown now.
I wouldn't say if I wouldn't go as far as saying that they're trying to take the crown. Um, I mean, that would be the dream, I would think,
But
but
I mean,
I think it's unrealistic. Even if you, I believe there was an old quote from I believe Tryndamere, which is one of the owners of Riot or used to be. I'm unsure of the status at the moment. Which was related to what if Riot made a an MMO, and I believe he said something along the lines of, "You'd be silly to try and go for like WoW levels, like try and dethrone." WoW and said and such, but instead to make something um, that's like good, but without going in with the intention of trying to dethrone World of Warcraft. It was, I forget the exact code, but it was something along those lines. Um, they shouldn't go in with the that expectancy or goal,
Mm.
as that's just silly, because World of Warcraft is a once in a lifetime type thing. Uh, it's not something that you can just replicate, even if you have a bunch of resources. It doesn't work like that. You can't like replicate the success they had.
Mm.
Um, you can still achieve something very good, very solid, but expecting it to be dethroning um,
Yeah, I
a
mean,
game that's been out for so long, and now it's like Final Fantasy and such, but expecting it to dethrone something like that out of nowhere, it's, I mean, it's very extremely optimistic,
mm.
and I think not a realistic approach to go into things. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
but
well, as a company whole, I think Riot right now is doing a great job as dethroning Blizzard itself. Because I mean, basically, they have a shooter game which is more popular than Blizzard's shooter game. They have a MOBA game which is more popular than Blizzard's MOBA game. They have a card game which isn't more popular than
it's
Hearthstone. I would say it's up there, but it's like Hearthstone is still 30-40% bigger. But okay, so Blizzard is winning on that one. Then, of course, Blizzard is also winning on the MMO front, but that's because they don't have an MMO yet. And then they have, then basically, Riot also have the TFT game, which
yeah.
is also quite popular, which Blizzard doesn't really have like a competitor against. But we could probably say Hearthstone because well, Hearthstone has a TFT mode.
Yeah, yeah, sort of. Yes, the competition from the on the auto battler would be the Hearthstone. Like Hearthstone is expanded into 3 or 4 different types. You got the,
Yeah, they got the background now.
yeah, you got the battleground. Like I think there's the mercenary stuff as well, which is a completely different mode.
It's basically like
Uh,
mobile games where you put,
yeah,
yeah, you know, where you have enemy, you have your heroes on the left side, enemies on the right side, and they fight automatically.
yeah, and a new type of, yeah, well, not new, but a different type of card game from the usual CCG, which is the main Hearthstone thing.
Yeah,
Um,
but yeah,
it's
but
I think,
well, I'm just trying to say like it's Riot is getting up there. They're getting up there
yeah,
and getting exactly the same portfolio as Blizzard with even more, and also they're releasing soon a fighting game which Blizzard doesn't have too. So it's like they're getting more and more and more. But I know Blizzard is now getting the survival game, which we're gonna talk about soon.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm sorry for butting in. I don't know if they're going, like if Blizzard's going to bounce back with the survival or not. It's going to be, I would think it's going to be very good in like terms of game feel, of
Mm.
like how it feels to play the game, because that's something that they've tend to
But
land
but
quite
don't
well.
don't blast it yet. We have it for the next topic.
No, yeah, no, I'm saying that I think they're going to be landing it nice. But then when it comes to Riot, Riot is also, like you said,
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't say it's taking over Blizzard. Like, it's doing very well.
yeah, yeah,
But they have gotten the that feel that Blizzard had achieved so long ago, and I think Riot has gotten to that level in recent years where they've gotten the game feel down right. Like playing their games feels good. It feels
yeah,
visually
yeah,
satisfying, and that's something that's very big, very good to have, which I don't think anything else has, except like Blizzard games,
yeah,
and we
yeah,
all know the state of Blizzard at the moment.
yeah. And
Um,
also Riot is beating the Netflix market with quality
yeah,
series as Arcane.
they got this. They're expanding far and wide. They had the comics. They started like the comics a while
I
ago.
have a Marvel.
Um, yeah, they have the Riot Forge, which is it's like the not third party. Well, it is third party Riot games,
Mm,
where they have 4 games, I believe, 2 out at the moment,
yeah,
with that RPG with the Ruined King. They have that rhythm, like runner rhythm game.
Yeah.
They have a side scroller, like 2D side scroller, coming out from like sort of feel like a like one of those fast ones. They just run across and jump, and it's very reactionary.
Oh,
Um,
but those games are coming from that partner company they have, right? The
yeah,
one
it's
where
right.
they work with other companies to just make games with the
Yeah,
same
they
IP.
basically they recruit other, but it's still under Riot. It's just in the Riot Forge,
Yeah, yeah,
but it's
yeah,
still part of it. It's still the characters, the world, the universe. And I think
yeah.
the last one is the Song of Nunu or Story of Nunu or something, which is like an open world 3D narrative game.
Yeah, it looks like
Um,
it looks like Sparrow the Knight, how that game
yeah,
will play.
something like that.
Yeah, I played the one with the turn based one. Uh,
Yeah,
I can't remember
uh,
the island, the Shadow Island,
yeah,
the Dark Prince, something like that.
yeah. But it's the Ruined King.
Rune King, yeah,
Um,
exactly, Rune King.
yeah.
Yeah, okay,
So yeah, like they're expanding Fire and Wine. Like you said, they have the fighting game coming out. They have Project F, which is the ARPG,
yeah,
eventually coming out, and then they have the MMO. And there's, but for people that don't know, there's those are two different things. Project F and the MMO are two different things, and it
yeah.
has been confirmed by Ghostcrawler on Twitter that they are two different things.
And
So for the people, yeah,
and that's why I don't believe the League of Legends MMO is not gonna be a top-down game, because it's basically gonna fight League of Legends and it's gonna fight
yeah,
Project F. It has to be a game just like World of Warcraft, where you see behind your
yeah.
character.
I'm share the same opinion, and that it's going to be a 3D thing,
Yeah,
mainly because it lets you immerse yourself into the game more.
yeah,
For like at least the majority of people prefer that for immersion instead of the top down. Um, and it's a market that they're not in there yet. And like
yeah,
you said, they have League of Legends. They're still gonna have League of Legends. They're gonna have Project F, which is I think it's under the actual Riot brand and not Riot Forge. It's not like an
yeah.
external thing. It's an actual main game. Which like I said, I don't like you said. I don't think because it's a new game. They're gonna put that out and then put out the MMO,
Mm,
and then the MMO is eating people from both games. Um, it's just I don't think it feels right. And yes, there's the argument where they know what they're doing. They have the top down combat and all that set and done, and they could use that and get like so far ahead in the development
yeah.
for the MMO. But I don't think that's what we're gonna get. Because this is the one time opportunity where they have to really showcase the universe and let people experience things,
Mm,
and you can't get that level of showcase of experience of immersion with top down. um there's only I think, in my opinion, and I'm one of those people, uh that is gets more immersed with top down games, but I'm fully aware that it's very likely and extremely likely that we are a minority,
yeah.
because 3D to top down, like 2.5D, it's not really the same thing.
And that's the funny thing, because a lot of people who play, let's say, Final Fantasy in World of Warcraft, they are refusing to go and play, for example, Lost Ark, because it's a top-down game. But the
Yeah,
funny thing is, a lot of Lost Ark players, they are fine with going, to a game like World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy, because they also like that perspective. So it's
yeah,
like your game is gonna be more popular by doing the third-person thing,
yeah.
and that's just end
It's
of story.
I think it's gonna be that, like
Yeah,
that. I think it's gonna be 3D. I'll be very surprised if it isn't. I'm not gonna dislike it if it isn't 3D.
no, 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 no.
I don't have any issues with it, but I would be very surprised if it wasn't the case.
But to end that topic, which year do you think the game will come out in? You have to
Uh,
guess.
uh, I would, I don't know, come out, but maybe like betas. I'm on the side of I don't think it's gonna be like a short time span like a lot of
Mm,
people are thinking. I'm thinking it's gonna be something like, let's say, 26, 27, maybe 25. I don't know. even then, that's pushing a bit for me. So
I mean, I was pretty much like, I was thinking the game would be totally finished by 25.
yeah, I'm unsure. Like they have a lot of people to be able to develop the game and make it, but
Yeah.
knowing like the quality that they try to put into things, I don't think it would be, especially something as massive as an MMO. It's like completely different scale from everything that they've done till now.
Mm,
And the usual quality that they try and put the game out, even if it's going in beta,
yeah.
it tends to be extremely polished. I don't think that we're going to be seeing it anytime soon. I mean, we're probably going to be seeing like concept images and thing
Yeah.
here and there, like starting this year or maybe next year. But actual playable versions, I don't think we're going to be getting them for quite a while.
No, no. Well, we'll see in 2025 how it goes. So, yeah, listen to the podcast in 2025 and we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, let's head on to the next topic. So, a thing which really surprised a lot of people 2 days ago on January 25 or the 25th. Blizzard, they basically just posted randomly on their own website, Blizzard News, an article called Create a New Universe with Us. Showing a picture of, in the left side, you see like the background of a forest, a normal city with, what was it called? High buildings? What's it called in English?
Skyscrapers and such.
Exactly, skyscrapers and houses. Like, you can just imagine that's our world, even with a bicycle, where you can. So it's basically people coming from our world right now, but there's two person. It looks like two kids. They're standing at a portal into a world with floating mountains, with castles on, and like a big grand big green land. You could just imagine that these normal people who normally live a life behind a computer, they're going into this fantasy world. And that's probably going to be like the main topic of the game, that these normal people are going to go to this fantasy world. But in the article we got released, they're basically saying here Blizzard is embarking on our next quest. We are going on a journey to a whole new universe, home to a brand new survival game for PC and consoles. A place full of heroes we have yet to meet, stories yet to be told, and adventures yet to be lived. A vast realm of possibility waiting to be explored. Every story needs a teller, and every world needs builders. What if that could be you? And basically, then they just talk about like they used to be working on games, blah blah blah, and they are needing a lot of different people, like environment artists, senior character artists, and yeah, a lot of people. They really need to hire a lot of people in this game. And showing a picture here of like a person with like a cape on, with like some wolf skin, a dagger. I've also seen like a wider picture of this one where it shows she has like an axe in the hand, and it just says in the
Okay.
bottom, unannounced survival game. So, Lumio, what was your reaction when you first saw this?
I think it's. I saw. I found out about this. Like, well, briefly when they posted, someone posted on Discord, and then deeper into it when I saw Asmongold's reaction, just because I tend to watch his stuff on YouTube, not much of his streams and such. Um, and there's some points he raises that I agreed with. Um, Namely, the first thing we already discussed earlier, which is Blizzard has the game feel down as an art form. Most of their games, if close to all of their games, I'm not gonna say everything, but they do get the game feel when you're playing very like very well. They get it. They know how to do it. They know how to make it feel good. Um, and that on a survival game, I think it's going to be very interesting to see what we get there. And the other point is that this is a market that they have the potential to take a big win.
Oh yeah.
This is another point that I heard from Masman on one of his videos, and that I agreed extremely with, which is a lot. or pretty much almost all the survival games that are on the market, except like one or two, just feel
it's,
outdated.
it's crap.
Yeah, they feel like they haven't evolved, like the genre hasn't evolved
No.
since years, and Blizzard has a potential to come in here with the very
Oh yeah.
good feeling, a very good game that isn't breaking down on every single thing you do, um, and take a huge boost in like PR and everything, etc. Um, but we
Hmm.
will see. Like I'm not expecting. I know some people saying that maybe it's a new MMO and that type of thing. I'm not thinking it's gonna be anything massive multiplayer type. For like smaller servers,
Yeah.
uh, Rust
Well,
like type of thing.
I I believe this game is well, and also to continue on what you just said, that's the thing. Like Ark, Valheim, Age of Conan, Exiles, all those games, they are like great in the genre. They have sold a lot of examples, and especially Valheim just sold insanely many copies. But again, if you go in as a new player in Valheim and you don't really like that genre, you will be looking around and saying, "What the hell is this graphic? What is this gameplay? Why do my character walk this weird?" I mean, and that's the thing. It's an indie game, isn't it? Like Valheim, it's an indie game, right?
Yeah, it's a small studio. I think Valheim is one of the few that it's very good on the genre. Well, the different mechanics and the different things you can do are very good. It has the well, to me, it isn't a downside, but it has downside where the graphic style isn't an extremely appealing one for a lot of people.
Mm,
It's I like it personally. I like the take on it, but I know that a lot of people just get put off by it, and I'm not surprised because it's like very polygon type thing. It isn't. It's like a lot of vertices and very rough edges. Um,
yeah.
but something with that quality of gameplay on like a very good visual art style that Blizzard has, because they have that down. Um,
And
I'm not. Go for it.
I mean, and that's the thing. Like Blizzard, they always come with a game which is quality wise. I mean, even for the game Heroes of Storm, which they basically closed, a MOBA game, still that is today my most favorite MMO. Sorry, MOBA, because it's just so quality. I mean, just the game, the graphics, all the games they release is always just a big beast in that genre. So I could just imagine they will go into this role, I should say, this genre, and just delivering some kind of a psycho beast which has all the building mechanics, has all the survival mechanics, has an open world, have some kind of cool server structure. I mean, imagine if they're gonna come with a server structure where basically they say, yeah, you can click on one button, it will host the server. The server will always be online. Your friends can always join the server, and it's gonna be free because we are cool and we are massive. We have money. Where in Fortnite, sorry, not Fortnite, in Minecraft, you basically have to rent a server to do that, or else
Yeah.
you have to have a server basically in the basement. Um, all the other games they require you either rent a server or anything like that. So if they do some high quality stuff like that, where you can basically just like make a server in the game, and because I think it's going to be something like that, you can create a server. But again, it could also be a bit MMO-ish. We don't know. But I just feel like they're going to come in with this and they are going to take this market with storm. And I think right now the other like Valheim, Ark, all those games, I think they're shaking their pants right now.
That would be very nice. Personally, I don't think that they have like they're gonna be able to just be running two MMOs at the same time. Um, why I don't think that this is gonna be like a big population per server type thing, but something more restricted. Maybe you have the potential to, change from server to server with your character,
Mm,
like you do in a bunch of other games, and carry everything across. That could be a thing. I could see that be a thing. Now, actually, big servers, I don't think we'll be seeing that.
nah,
But who knows? The theme, it looked like you said, looking like a modern day like type of people, but going into a fantasy world. I like that theme. I think it's going to be very appealing, especially with that more cartoon, like animated art style. If from what we can see on the concept art ends up being the style in the game, it will be interesting to see if it's going to be a top down, if it's going to be like a, a 3D, whatever they end up doing, a first person, like who knows. Um,
Yeah,
but I think it has potential. It has potential.
yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, we can't really talk more about this one. That's everything we know. So, yeah, got any last word before we switch to the third topic?
Not really. There's not much to say. There's very little to go by.
Yeah, I mean, and again, the game is right now hiring a lot of people, so we have to wait. And again, also with the acquisition of, basically and if you haven't heard that, I'm probably going to be a blast for you, but Microsoft, they basically bought Activision Blizzard, so a lot of things is probably going to happen over there.
Has it gone through? Wasn't it like they placed a bid or something, a
It
proposal on the table?
it has been accepted, and now the current CEO they have, what is called,
Bobby.
yeah, Bobby, yeah, Bob. He's gonna leave once everything the transition is done. So yeah, Bobby Kotick. Yeah, so he's
Yeah.
basically gonna finish the transition now and then when it's done, he's gonna walk out the door, and Phil Spencer, he's gonna sit in the chair and be the leader of the whole Xbox
Okay.
organization.
It'll be interesting to see what direction this takes the company in. Um,
I hope it's gonna be like, so basically they're gonna remove World of Warcraft from subscription and put it on Game Pass instead. So it's because then you're gonna get so much more with the game, and just
could be.
put all the games on the Game Pass, so you can play Overwatch on the Game Pass. You can play, and also I really hope they're gonna stop using their own Xbox app on PC because it's really terrible, and then they're gonna use the Battle.net launcher because that launcher is so good, and they could easily put all their other games over there. I'm sure they could do that, but the problem is the Xbox app right now has so many problems, and this Battle.net launcher is so brilliant, and it doesn't really make sense for Blizzard to have like two launchers. I mean,
Yeah.
Microsoft Studio. So I hope they're gonna do something, but it's probably gonna take years.
Yeah, it's going to take quite a while to probably see something around that.
Yeah. All right, let's jump to the next topic. So the next thing we're gonna talk about is the Elder Scrolls Online High Isle. Isle. I hate that word. Isle. Isle.
I'll,
Isle.
I'll, yeah.
Isle. Yeah. They just revealed it 1 hour ago, so this is a brand new information. It's the next, as they called it, year-long chapter. They don't call it expansions in their world. They basically called it chapters because it's always 1 year. So every like January they're gonna show the next chapter, but basically it's an expansion.
Okay.
So if we just look, okay, people on Spotify and so on can of course not look, but what we see on the website right now is they are showing a nice picture of a new island that hasn't been in Elder Scrolls before. It's a brand new story, brand new isle, brand new everything in on this isle and new. So no one can be like, oh, this is not what happened in LoL. No, because this is brand new. And I think it's going to be like very exciting for Elder Scrolls players, maybe not new players, but Elder Scrolls players. And basically this island here is all about Britons. This is a Briton island. This is probably their homeland or something like that, but it's all about Britons. And Britons is one of the races in Elder Scrolls Online. It's like I can't even. It's humans, and they are like a cross between humans and elves. What they call Melf, I think, Melf, something. But it's a cross between human and elves. But this Briton race is all about knighting, like knights. They like shiny armors, royal battles, going in fancy clothes as kings. Stuff
Based
like.
on the British, I guess.
Yeah. I think actually they said in the live stream based on Europe.
Oh, okay.
So but yeah, shiny armors and all that stuff. And we also see here on the website that it's going to be nice cast. I mean, I love the theme. Just because of the theme, I could even think about buying it. But I'm gonna come down to why I'm not gonna buy it later. But yeah, we see like this island here where they say explore High Idle and Minios, a land never seen before in the Elder Scrolls, traverse stunning white cliffs, majestic castles, and perilous jungles as you encounter chivalrous Breton society. It just looks very, very nice. And it's not going to be, because normally the expansions, the chapter about Elder Scrolls Online is always like, oh, this big guy demon is gonna kill the whole world. We have to save the world. Oh, like every single chapter. But not this time. This time it's all about this little idol, which no one cares about, which basically could get destroyed tomorrow, but no one would care about it because no one knows about it. But underground in this place, there's like a shadow knight group who want to like terrorize the isle, and we have to find out who these guys are and basically fight them. As it says here, uncover a secret order of knights led by the mysterious Ascended Lord who threatens to disrupt the peace talks for the ongoing Free Banner War and condemn Teriel to endless conflict. So it's not like a big threat, but it's a pain in the butt, you could say, because if this guy wins, he's gonna like terrorize all the factions all the time. Probably get stronger, being that fourth alliance, which we don't want. But this is why I saw a lot of people getting angry in the chat, and I saw a lot of people getting happy. They're basically adding a card game to the game. So
Okay.
you can now go into the tavern, as it says here, a new way to unwin ESO, grab a 10 card of meat, and play a hand of an original fast-paced collectible card game. Tales of Tribute, compete with friends or test your mettle against NPCs in this exciting deck-building game. And
I think that's very good.
I'm like, the problem is a lot of people, they have been screaming for weeks, months, years that they want new weapon lines so you can use new weapons. They want new classes. They want, like things which is like fundamental for expansions and chapters. And, no one has really been shouting about this. And then they're like, yeah, we know you want all those things, but we just added a card game in the game. And everyone is like, who asked for that? It's I totally get why it's a cool thing. I mean, imagine logging into ESO, going to the tavern, sit down, play some card games. I could totally see the fantasy. But they didn't add any of those things people were screaming for. They added a card game instead.
Yeah, I can see that feeling. I'm heavily biased because I really love these things. Like, I don't play card games, like as in card games, like video games. But I do love built-in games, like in this case, built-in card games into MMOs, RPGs, etc. Because they usually the game tends to be something that's quite simple, quite fast. And I do love the going around collecting the like cards from like NPCs and battling other people for like bets and such. Because I think it adds a lot to the world.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not biased enough to not say that, to not agree that the expansion probably should bring something more in the terms of the typical systems of classes and such than just story and missions and something, and then this big system edition, which is the card game, but
Uh,
without like classes and weapons
and that's
and
the
the like.
problem. That's the problem. They're using this as one of their main selling keys on why you should buy this expansion. Oh, buy this expansion so you can go into a tavern and play a mini game. Wow. It's like,
Like I said, I'm very biased towards these things. If I played Elder Scrolls, I would buy this just for this. But I do know that majority of the player base would be more happy with actual new classes, actual new system, new combat systems, and the like, than the actual mini games like
yeah.
tavern games.
But yeah, it is as it is. And on the live stream, they told something about you have to pick like 2 decks or something like that, and it gets shuffled between the decks. And when you finish the tutorial, 100%, you get like 4 decks you can choose between, and then you can unlock even more decks by actually playing the game, not full card game,
Yeah,
but like playing the real game.
Yeah.
the real MMO, which I think is nice. So I agree, it's a nice thing, but it's just sad that they use it as a main selling point without, because everyone was like expecting to see a new class, just something, a monk class, anything, and they were like, "Hey, we got cards."
In honesty, this is something I would love to see in Core Punk, but I don't think we're gonna be seeing it. But I would love if they did that.
Probably not at launch, but maybe in the light. Maybe I mean, if this
I don't even.
if this gets success, like if this little mini mode here, mini game is getting success in ESO, I'm sure all the MMOs they'll be like, we have to think about this. But sadly, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I would love if it happened. I'm not seeing it though.
Yeah. Well, other things and the funny thing, some of these things they didn't really talk about, but they are on the website. It's basically they're adding a new 12-person trial, which is basically a raid where we have to fight pirates. Again, as you can see, it's not about the world end. We're basically going and fighting some pirates in a raid. So I guess that's, and again, I like the theme that it's not about we are doomed. Oh no.
Because it's a good introduction to the new. Well, is it a new continent?
Yeah,
Or is
totally
this,
brand new.
so I think it's a good introduction to it because you're not getting to this new continent that you don't know about, and then all of a sudden you have to save the world again,
Yeah,
type thing. It's like actually it's a good introduction to this new land and what it has and what bad things it has. And I think it has room to grow later in the year or like in the expansion, since it's like a year-long thing. It
yeah,
has room to grow and for them to raise the stakes in what happens.
yeah.
Uh, but for introduction, I think it's plenty enough to just showcase what the land has to offer.
Yeah, definitely. And on the same time, we're also gonna get new companions. And if you're listening and you don't know what a companion is basically an NPC which can run around with you and help you. You can either use it as tank, damage, heal, and it's basically as strong as a player. So it's like it's helping people to play this game as a solo player, because you can basically kill strong bosses with these NPCs. So now we're gonna get a Kashid, which is called Ember, which is like a female Kashid, and then we're gonna get a female Breton Knight. So basically, the Kashid is probably going to be like a mage, and the Breton is going to be like a Templar. So it's just two new companions which can go around with you, you can interact with. Basically, yeah, I guess some people they even imagine that this is a player they run around with and play with, and it's just adding another solo layer to the game. And beside that, some kind of new events where like a volcanic is going to explode. Also, no treasures, so like you can run around and get some new treasures, stuff like that. But this is of course a 1 year long expansion, so that it's, as they say, it's gonna release every third month. I think it is. They're gonna release like a new chapter, a new chapter. So we're gonna get a new expansion with like a new patch with dungeons, then lore, dungeons, lore.
In honesty, I wouldn't be surprised if they introduced like new weapons or new class or something going forward. This is just the introduction to the continent, and like you just arrived, you're getting to know the place and what the land has to offer. And I think as it going forward, it's very likely that they could introduce a new weapon or a new class that you could become as the story develops, rather than just something right from the start.
Yeah.
Um, so I think there's potential there.
Yeah, and just very shortly before we end this one, as they always have, which I actually think is a nice thing of Elder Scrolls Online, they have like bonuses if you like, if you already pre-order the game. Basically, here the expansion itself is coming on June 6th, which is a good date. It's only for PC and Mac and Stadia, but it's a good date because none of MMOs right now is placed or target at June. Where in February, for example, we're gonna get 3 MMOs, which is insane. I mean, no one has the time to play 3 MMOs at the same time, even not Asmongold. Um, and if you're like sitting right now thinking, which free game is that? Well, basically, it's the Star Wars MMO. Star Wars Old Republic is getting a new expansion. Guild Wars 2 is getting a new expansion, and we're getting Lost Ark. And then I believe in March we're getting another MMO. I can't even remember which one that was. No, I can't remember. I'll come back to that one probably. But yeah, but back to Elder Scrolls Online. So the game is coming on PC and Stadia and Mac on the June 6th and on the June 21 for Xbox and PlayStation. And also for the new consoles and all that. And if you pre-order the game already now, you will get some some kind of like a stack mount and a little stack pit, which looks pretty cool. You're also gonna get like pre-purchase the digital content at launch. We also gonna get like a costume, like looks like a Paris costume, some crates, a little dog, some in-game rewards. And again, if you then buy the big one, the collector's edition, you're gonna get like a dragon mount, a tiger pit, a really cool outfit style where you look like a knight, a emo pack, and some mementos. So cool stuff. So if you're into this game, you probably want to pre-order now to get all the bonuses as it is. And again, also you should definitely go and check out their YouTube page because they have released an outstanding trailer. Their trailers are always like outstanding. Quality-wise, supreme, really good. So if you haven't seen the trailer, go check it out. It's excellent. They always just deliver the best trailers out there for MMOs. Like, it's really good. But yeah, I guess that's conclude the topic, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's a good overview of it.
Great. Let's then go to the next topic. So for the next topic, we're going to talk about Lost Ark because they just released a new article, which is a very hot topic right now. Because people, they actually believed that when Lost Ark released, we would be playing in what they call Tier 1, which is basically like World of Warcraft Vanilla. It's basically like, it's the first part of the game. You get to max level, you run around with the first dungeons they made, like really low school, first dungeons, first content package, all that. Because people, they were exciting for only having tier 1, so they could really like try all the classes before tier 2 and 3 drops, where really the grind starts. But no. Amazon had other plans. They basically here in this article says that we are gonna jump straight ahead to tier 3 from day 1. They don't care about people getting ready. They just wanted it. People call it tier 3 light because it's not the whole tier 3. It's like half of tier 3. They don't want to get you all the things. They just kind of like want to give you like almost anything, but just still holding some things back so they still can be like, haha, we got some updates. Wow, we are good developers because we update the game. So you can see what I mean. Like they still want to make sure that there's something behind and ready to like get out. But basically what they say in this article here is that we're going to get something called the Yawn region, which I think I heard the YouTuber Cybo saying is like the newest region. So we're going to get like the newest region from day 1, the Felton region, the Puniket region, and all these regions here contains dungeons, abyss dungeons, stuff like that. And here it says tier 3 content. Tier 3 gear will be available at launch as well for few core tier 3 dungeons to support proper progression, including Oria's Well, Abyssal Dungeon, Chaos Dungeons Stage 3, and Velganos Guardian Raid. And the combat level cap is increased to level 60, so basically we can go to the in-game level already from day 1 instead of only to level 50. Yeah. And then they say after release, there's going to be much more coming in the way. So we're not going to get anything. But basically, they said we're just going to get our feet wet. We're not going to get the whole pool. We're just going to like touch it. And
so, yeah, it's an introduction into it, into that type of thing.
Yeah. I have to admit, personally, I would have enjoyed if we started with tier 1 only because I'm a new player. I'm coming into this game as brand new, and I would like to have this kind of vanilla try.
There is that feeling that since the game has been out for quite a while, but not available to the Western audience, at least not in the normal way that
Yeah.
you don't have to VPN into Russia and try that version. That they're trying to make up for lost time by providing a lot, like in opening up a lot from the get go and cutting things here and there to just get people going in faster. I don't know. There's a debate if that's good or that's bad. I think it would depend on who you ask.
Yeah. Because if you go to Reddit, it's a really 50-50 one. Because all the hardcore players who already plays the game right now, they're happy because they're gonna get their new content ASAP. And
Yeah,
all the new players like me, we like, but I want to start in tier one.
yeah. There's that. You're gonna have that feeling of, am I starting a new game? Like, am I playing a new game, or am I like jumping into a game that's been out for years and like the population is already like in the top stuff,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna have to basically, as if someone started playing WoW like at this time. I might, you have that feeling.
yeah,
You're giving that feeling to a lot of new players, even though the game is technically new in the Western market.
yeah.
And yeah, there's the debate to go there. If you play a lot, then you're gonna love that because you're gonna have massive amounts of content right from the get go. Um, but if you've never tried the game, if you're not gonna be playing 24/7 type stuff, then that's going to be quite something.
But I mean, at least the positive thing about this is, and also what I think they want to avoid, is from day one, there's a lot of content for people. So you can play basically plus 200 hours and still have more things to do. Where you can say New World basically, which they also published and made, failed at that point because the more people played New World, the less they wanted actually to play it. Where
Yeah,
where Lost Ark should be the opposite. The more you play it, the more you want to stay, the more you want to grind these dailies, the more you want to skip all your family dinners and stay in the game. It's where New World is basically like telling
yeah,
you have to go to the family dinner because I'm boring. No harsh words with New World, but you know this. Um, but just to quickly finish based on this article, they're basically saying that they're going to have 173 Steam achievements, which
that is a lot.
is that is a lot. And they say they even got even more in the game itself. They just haven't put it all on Steam yet. As a new thing, you also can now choose between 4 voices on your character, which I don't think you could in the beta. I didn't really pay attention to that.
It's an interesting thing to note down.
Yeah,
I guess there's people that are gonna like that, but like a very minor thing to mention, I suppose.
Yeah, probably. I mean, and now here they're going to state some things that they actually changed because of feedback from the community. For example, they're going to release an extra DLC you can download free on Steam, which is basically giving you the Korean voice and
Yeah,
subtitles. So it's not going to be the base game, but if you want it, you can download it. Also, they're going to be you're now going to be able to skip even more cutscenes than you could in the beta. So people, they probably, yeah, a lot of people, they don't want to see
yeah.
cutscenes. They just want to rush.
Just want to go as fast as they can.
Yeah, and try to get to the like in game as the first person and control the market and all that. And then they got a lot of feedback that people was feeling that you got to end game and got the best gear too fast. So they basically,
Okay.
yeah, that's kind of odd. They balanced the game, so now it's going to be even more challenging to get to the end game. Like it's making the game harder, which I'm not a fan of because I'm a gamer that with 2 hours
Yeah.
daily grinding. So but yeah, it's we're gonna see how the pace is.
Gonna
Uh,
see how it feels. Yeah.
yeah, this one we're gonna read about now is one that really have made a lot of noises on the ground on the internet. Because they have basically said how character names are gonna be, and it's basically gonna be like in World of Warcraft. You cannot use special characters. The following
Okay.
restrict. Well, wait, sorry. The following are restricted special characters, and then they're gonna show like special characters. I believe that means actually you cannot use it. The
Okay.
following are restricted special characters, and then they show some. Yeah, they show that you cannot use restricted characters and capitalized letters other than the first letter. So you cannot like have a name like a Lumio where A and Y is like the big ones. You can
Yeah.
only have like a big A,
Okay.
and you're not allowed to have spaces in your name too. And like I'm a World of Warcraft player. This is just how the World of Warcraft works, exactly the same. So for me, it's like okay,
Some feeling.
yeah, it's like this is normal. But on for some reason on Twitter, people are going crazy over this. Like they hate it because they want family names. They want to be able to use the same like last name.
I don't know. Is this like maybe a thing that's like common in Black Deserts and Final Fantasies and the like? I suppose maybe
Yeah,
like
I
something there.
yeah, a bit. So people they normally like call first name something and then last name is always like the same, so people know, oh, that's the guy.
Yeah.
You can also do that in Guild Wars where you have like a first name and a last name. You can do if you want. You don't have to. Um, but yeah, it's for some reason this has been creating a lot of noise in the community. But for me, I'm like, it's a name.
I mean, some people get really attached to names and such, so I suppose there is something there, but I'm not sure it's that much of a problem to be raising a ruckus about, but who knows?
Once you create your character, then it's then that thing is done.
Yeah.
One funny thing they mentioned is if you reserve a name and you then be like, oh yeah, this hairstyle I picked was ugly, and you delete the character, then your name is not gonna get released. They have to
Or it
manually,
gets locked.
yeah, it's get like they have to manually log into the database and release the name, and
Jesus.
yeah, that's so weird to me. I've never seen that in MMO. Like all the MMOs I played, when you delete a character, the name is free.
That is quite a weird approach to it. I'm not sure what type of system they have in place that they had to build it like that.
No,
What like that is very weird.
yeah,
It's a very weird infrastructure.
yeah, definitely. Well, and beside of that, they stating that you can actually buy all the founder packs, which is it's a bit cringe that they actually talk about it. But basically, they're saying that yeah, you can actually buy all the founder packs at the same time and get all the rewards on top of each other. But they're basically saying, hey, 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 yeah, buy all the founder packs, give us money,
Give us all the money.
I mean, I bought the platinum one with the big one for $100 because I'm really anticipated to this game and I want the unique skins, which are never going to be in the game again. So I like having
Yeah.
this feeling I'm a bit unique.
You really get that exclusive feeling.
Exactly. But I would never buy all the packages. Like, no, but I understand all the packages give like a lot of rewards or a lot of silver, which is going to help you in the game.
Yep.
So I understand the hardcore players that really want to push this game for day one, they're probably going to do it. And now they just got a confirmation you can do it. So go spend your money. It's gonna be $180, I think, or something like that for more. Jeez. Um, and then they just talked very roughly about that if you are in a guild and the guild leader hasn't logged in for 10 days, the the guy who's like on the second highest rank, he can then right click on the guild leader and say claim guild leader.
That is not a bad feature. I'm not gonna lie,
No.
because you always end up in this weird situation where the people just stop playing and they don't alert anyone. They don't tell anyone because they don't have to, but there's always creates that weird situation where what now? Like, do we just abandon the guild and like everything, all the time invested into this and whatever stuff is in the bank or however the system works,
Yeah.
and start from the beginning? Uh, or at least with this, there's the capability of taking it over. Um, Hopefully, there's no room to abuse it, but it's a very good feature to have to just deal with those weird, awkward situations.
Yeah, and if the guild leader is that serious, he would never be offline for 10 days anyway.
Yeah,
Especially not the first month of the game.
yeah. I
Um,
guess there could be that thing of oh, I'm going on a vacation. Like, don't don't take this over from me. Um,
oh yeah, could you
like I could
imagine?
see that happening. I could see that happening. Like some guild drama originating from that, but I doubt that would be a common occurrence.
Yeah, that officer who really wants to own the guild, and now he's like, hey, 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 hey.
And I would think there's probably like ways to deal with that by assigning it to someone he trusts, like someone a guild leader trusts, and then they give it back
Yeah,
at the end.
Yeah. And to run this off, they have also answered some questions, which is a bit important. They're basically talking about, because in Korea and Russia they have had a lot of like very cool limited events where you could get some really unique skins, and people are
Mhm.
basically asking, are we gonna get these skins also, or is it only gonna be Korea and Russia who was able to get it? And they're basically saying, yeah, they are coming, but they're gonna like put it over like the year with some kind of events,
Yeah.
so it's gonna be over the years. And the last thing, which I'm just going to touch on, is like it's quite interesting because a lot of people is complaining about this thing here, and I actually believe it's a good reason to complain about, because if you play World of Warcraft and you play ranked arena, you have your rating based on the character you play on. So if you play
Okay.
very high ranking on a warlock, and you then suddenly create a new warrior and you want to try to do ranking again, you're not going to be the same skills as your warlock because it's totally another class.
Yeah.
But Lost Ark, they don't care about that. It's account based.
I hmm, again, this depends on who you ask. I personally think this is the better approach. Um, sort of fight the fact of people just getting on alts and smashing lower skilled
Yeah,
people.
as a bad player, and probably as myself, because I'm not top 100, I'm not even top 1,000, not top
Yeah,
10,000. It's gonna help me not getting against someone smurfing.
yeah.
Um,
So you have that benefit. I can. There's a debate of the people that want to relax and go into an alt, like, and do some PvP because they like doing PvP and not be as stressful, like in a less stressful, basically encounters, because they would be playing on a lower difficulty because they would be playing against people that are lower in skill than them, um, and the debate of them trying to train new classes, like, because if you're really skilled at the gunner, for example, doesn't mean that you're going to be really skilled at playing the Warhammer guy. Um, so there's that difference,
yeah,
and I could understand that debate point, but I think ultimately keeping the the skill, like the general skill level, as tight as they can, as in you'd be playing with people that would be generally at your level. Um, not in class specific levels, but um, as a general player of a PvP player to be facing people of your similar skill level, I think it's a better benefit than it has more pros and cons, in my opinion. Like, at least some of the pros weigh more in my views than some of the cons.
yeah. I mean, as a player like me, who are a basic player, if let's say I for some reason get a very high rank on a berserker because I just found out how to play it, I got some good friends, so on. Then I log on a nail, like I log on a paladin, which I don't really know how to play, and I do arena, and I again meet the same equal people. That's gonna be unfair for me, but still, I still know how PvP works. I still
Yeah,
know how to dodge, so it's not like the classes is like that different.
yeah. There's that. There's still gonna be some common points between the classes, that a skilled player would play properly, and the fact and knowing how to play against certain classes, even if you're in a different class, there are some common points that you would have to follow. Like, be aware of this, be aware of that, and that would be in of itself a big thing, a big skill disparity.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think it's
Uh,
a good thing in general. It's a good feature in general.
And as we speak right now, this second we're speaking right now, like literally this second we're speaking right now, they just released a new article, Lost Ark, where they are putting out release date, time, and server list.
Okay.
That is quite interesting because a lot of people has been waiting for this, like tons of people, um, and they just released this. Like that's a huge thing. Like it's a pretty huge thing. Like
Yeah.
while we speak. So if we just like go through it, because this is totally brand new for me, so I'm just gonna be like off script right now. But it basically says here, pre-download will be available starting on Monday, February 7 at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So that's like the day before, really, the day before Head Start starts, and only Head Start is for people who bought the founder pack. There is no options for pre-period character creation or name reservation. Your name will be reserved or locked only when you finish character customization screen. So you get your name once the game release, and it's just about getting quick in.
Yeah.
Servers will open for Head Start access on Tuesday, February 9 a.m. Pacific time, basically 5 p.m. UTC. What time is that? 5 p.m. UTC. What is that for you? Is that
Let me go quick Google.
Oh, okay, so that's gonna be 6 in the evening.
4. Is it?
Yeah, 6 for me and 5 for you.
Okay. Yeah, 5.
That's a good thing, because then
That's not a bad hour.
then I don't even have to take vacation that day.
Yeah, it's not a bad hour.
No, that's
Like
like
literally.
yeah, that's like perfect.
Yeah, it's around the time like of around the end of work day time.
Well, yeah, I mean, for you, it's literally when you get off work. For me, it's
Yeah, it
like,
is.
and for me, it's like 1 hour after I get off.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I don't even. I think I'm gonna like. I can even save a vacation day on this, because then I don't have to take vacation on Tuesday, the 8th, but I can then use 3 days on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
It's very good.
I'm happy with that. I'm really happy. Like this makes me happy. And then it's gonna be the same time the game is gonna release for everyone, free to play, but just on the February 11, which is a Friday. So Tuesday for early access and Friday for everyone else. And if anyone is watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see the skins that you can get. No one has seen the skin yet. This is first time we see the skin. If you buy the gold package for 50 euro, you get this like Viking skin. And the cool thing about this Viking skin is it's only for people in Europe and USA. Like Korea and Russia has not
Oh,
got
they
this
don't have
skin.
that.
No,
Okay.
it's like a skin only for us.
That's good and bad, I guess. I think
Ah,
it's good in the sense that we're the ones getting it, but putting yourself on the shoes of other people,
I ha-
it's
I have a feeling that the other guys are gonna get it later.
possibly, yeah, I would not be surprised if that was the case. They just make it available through some mean.
Yeah, because we can't even get angry, because it's basically on another server, another data set, so we're never gonna
Yeah,
be able to play with them.
yeah.
It's like the same with in World of Warcraft. Blizzard, they just gave everyone in China a free spectral tiger if you buy 6 months of subscription, and like in Europe, if you play, like the spectral tiger is like worth so much dollar, like so many dollars. But it's not gonna. It's we can't be angry on it because it's on Chinese data set. So who cares? And China wasn't even able to get this spectral tiger mount because that was before they got the game. They didn't have the TCG cards,
Oh,
the game
yeah.
cards. So, Founders Pack will be available for purchase through 9 a.m. Pacific time on February to 11. So yeah, basically you can buy the packages till the 11th, and after that you can't. Steam customers will have the Founder Pack benefit auto entitled for them. Amazon customers have to automatically set a key. Blah 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 blah. Server, yeah, that's what we're interested in. Server reset times daily, weekly bosses events are per region. Daily and weekly reset will be done at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. depending on daylight saving time and the region. Ah, yeah, okay. Like in Denmark, we switch like 1 hour in front and back.
Yeah,
Then we
the
go to
daylight
CT and
savings.
CEST. So what is this like? Europe Central? It's UTC plus 1. Is that like 1 at? Wait, no. It says here 1 a.m.
It doesn't matter really. In honesty, the server reset times, most of them being happening at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m.
But 1 a.m. that's 1 at night, right?
Yeah, it's like literally during night, it's after midnight.
Yeah, okay, so it's always at night while we basically sleep. Um,
Yeah,
that they're gonna reset.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good thing. This means that a dungeon meant to open at 7 p.m. on a server time UTC will open for US West 7 hours later to make it more playable accessible for the US West players. The same goes for every region using the timing listed above. Yeah, so it's always like with this timing meant here. Okay.
To sort of give the maneuverability, like the flexibility to people that
Yeah.
if they want to prepare to do the server, like the dungeon reset or the dungeon opening, that they can prepare for it, and it's not going to be something at a weird hour.
Yeah. It's actually really big of them. They're creating SA servers. Because
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of Guild Wars players crying about getting this.
yeah. The SA servers are a really good thing to have because there's a lot of. It's not a usual data center
It's
to exist.
South America, right?
South Asia, South Asia.
Isn't it
I think
Isn't it
no,
South
no.
America?
Is it? Oh, is South Asia the SEA? Is that it?
Yeah, I'm pretty
It
sure
might be
because
South America.
because Asia should be already covered.
Oh yeah, it might be South America. Although that's weird. I don't think I've ever heard the being reference to South America. I think at least from the games I've seen, it always has been something like Latin America. But it, yeah, that's a time zone
Oh yeah,
mentioned,
yeah.
so probably is correct.
Yeah, and then we got like a server list. Yeah, it has to be South America because see the server here, they only got 2 servers.
Yeah,
Where in Europe we're gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
probably is. Yeah.
Damn, now we have to discuss in the guild which server we're gonna pick. Are you gonna play?
I don't know yet. It really depends.
Yeah, okay.
We'll have to
Okay.
see.
I really hope we're not gonna pick like in Near World, where in Near World the guild basically picked one of the most popular servers at all. So it was so horrible, like so horrible. And we even picked one with so ugly name, and then still everyone picked it. Jeez. Okay, well that was surprising. I didn't expect this to happen. That we got this article while talking.
Well, miracle.
But yeah, everyone's listening. The game can be played on this Tuesday, and again, service is going live in 5 p.m. Well, 6 p.m. CET, because I know the Danish. I don't remember. UTC, is that UK?
I don't know UTC side. I know UK is GMT plus
Oh,
1.
yeah, GMT. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it's 5 p.m. GMT if you want to play it there. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Any last word about Lost Ark?
No, not really. So to see how it comes out, what happens with it.
There you go. Well, let's get to the last topic. So, for the last topic, I have a little surprise because, again, as the person we both know, Alumio and me, we know the person called Boast. He is working for games. He's actually working. In this situation, we can see that the game is published by Deep Silver, and the developer is Playcorp Studios. And not gonna go into his history, which company he works for, but he's basically working on this game and controls like Discord and stuff like that. He's not like community manager. He's like a level above the community manager, but
Okay.
yeah, I'm not. Yeah, well, above community manager. Not gonna talk too much about it because else he's gonna get pissed on me for saying something wrong. But we actually, and that's the funny thing here, we actually got codes to the game. We got 5 codes to the game, and how we're gonna do it is I'm gonna just say one code now. So for the random first listener right now listening to this, if you are near your PC and you have Steam open, go now, click on Add Game in left corner, left bottom corner, Add Game. It's gonna ask you for a CD key, and what you want to do is write in the key I'm gonna tell you now. I'm gonna find my conversation with Boast and find the keys just here. Good, you're gonna get the first key. It's B8VJG, and then like a line. What's it called?
A hyphen.
Hyphen. Then a 3A7N6 hyphen 6L8P7. You're very welcome. I just gave you a game which cost normally $15.
It's gonna be interesting if you're gonna say the other keys out loud.
It's yeah, I don't know if we should like do 2 keys here and then like throw the three of us like in comment section or something fun.
Probably spread them out in a different means that than just saying them all out loud, because I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
That
because if the first person who will listen to this, he will basically just capture all 5 keys and yeah. Well, we're gonna throw out like 2 or 3 on here, and then rest will probably be. I'm probably gonna put them on and on the podcast description, so you have actually to open up a podcast app, go to the description, and actually find the key there. Then we
spread
force it.
them out, yeah,
Then we
in different
forcing
places.
people to go to our podcast. Good. So talking about Bose's game, which is again published by Deep Silver and developed by PlayCorp Studios, it is called Beyond Contact. It's
So
on Steam.
sell it to me. Sell it to me. What does
Okay,
it entail?
I'll send it to you. So it's a fiercely formidable sci-fi survival game set on a hostile alien world that want you dead. Alone or with a crew, do you have what it takes to survive? And the game is recently reviewed, very positive, and all reviews is mostly positive, and released on Steam Early Access on the 21st September.
Is
Um,
this something like a survival game from the
it
bullet point description that you gave?
it is like, yeah. As we can see here in the pictures, you see the game like a top down game. You see it from like a core punk perspective,
Yeah,
where you have
same MOBA
like
perspective, yeah, as a metric.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's better said. Where you can see like you have your items, like items you find, like your harvest items, basically anything you loot up, you can like use in your inventory down here. We see them building like a base with like fences, some kind of mechanics that is like harvesting. I promised to actually play this game and like made a first impression about it for like to give both the like
Yeah,
feedback, but still I haven't tried it yet. But that's in to do. We see the character is like a bit 3D cartoonish graphic style, isn't that? I mean, I think it's okay to call it cartoonish, right?
yeah, it's yeah, more cartoonish style. But you know what you have to do next, then yeah, give it a go and get that first impression down.
Yeah, and here we can see like, and if you again for listeners who watching listening at this on Spotify, we basically seen a person here walking around as like temple exploring the world. Then we see like a person here going in combat with some kind of a melee weapon against some very big slimy, what is it called, bills? What are the insect called? Worm? Yeah, like some
What? Yeah, like
fat
yeah,
worms.
worms. Yeah, bagworms. Yeah, I think that's it. That made the silk.
And then we see some kind of like a
The map overview.
actually, yeah, some kind of yeah, could be. Also, it looks like he's actually connecting something in the ground. Like,
Oh, so you could have some factory like type systems where you need to connect electricity and the likes. Yeah,
yeah, it
what it
says
looks like.
here Keppel plant.
Oh, so it is like a building, like planning vision.
Could be. And then all the things we see are like the things he maybe built in there. Um, but yeah, let's go down and see just the main selling points of this game. Um, So our newly recruited Guardians of Peace, we welcome you to Space Corps. Please join us in the official Space Corps Discord server for new recruit orientation, mission briefings, and to begin your journey as a ranking operative of the United Worlds Congress Division Space Corps. To our veterans operative, we thank you for the continuous service and support. We look forward to reading your field reports and hearing your suggestions, so please join in the discussions and share your adventures and help us make the universe a better place for all. I see. And basically about the game. Beyond Contact is a fiercely formative survival game inspired by the art and style of pulp science fiction comics, the moral dilemmas and
Of
contemporary
contemporary science fiction films.
huh, and the unforgiving gameplay of survival genre classics.
So go for it. So we get in the next paragraph. Taking place on the often mysterious and always deadly procedurally generated alien world of Catern. Beyond Contact features exploration and discovery, a robust system of research and crafting, intuitive base building and defense, farming and creature feeding, narrative driven objectives to save the inhabitants of the planet, and enough flora, fauna, extreme weather, and environmental hazards to kill even the toughest players 1,000 times over. And trust us, if the planet gets the chance, it will. So it's sounding like it's I think it you know that game My Time at Portia, something like that. Like
When you're
that
like a
type of
kids.
no, it's like that type of Harvest Moony type game but with survival as well, like combats and the like. So you have the farmings, and then some narrative driven things. You get the breeding of the animals and the like, and then you're going to go explore when you go out of your farm of your base. Then you
Ooh.
come across the hazards and other mobs to potentially grind, farm, maybe even tame. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, it's probably because that's like the only game I've played in this genre. It's the one Dark Knight, the one with the kids, where they have like a sequel where you can play multiplayer in it.
Hmm.
It's like a 2D game, where it looks like the characters always walking from the side, and when you walk that way, it's like the characters like flipping around.
Don't starve.
Don't Starve, exactly.
Yeah, you got Don't Starve, and then you got Don't Starve together.
Yeah, that's the only like game I've ever played in this genre, and I mean I see some common
Yeah,
things.
it's that type of common features where you build up your base and you go out to hunt things and find things and to basically go to the next like tech level to allow you to build newer, better things. Basically, that loop, that constant loop, seems to be the case here, which is the that typical survival game, which is a very good thing. It's a very solid loop.
Yeah, and gameplay wise, we're looking like on a GIF right now where we can see some people running around and doing combat. It actually does looks pretty smooth. I have to be honest.
It looks like it might have some combat similar to like MOBAs.
Yeah, and you can even turn the camera around. I'm normally not a fan of that because I hate like you can do that because then a lot of people is doing it all the time. I like to have like a static camera, but I guess there's a reason for it, like because sometimes you have to like see the building from another angle.
Yeah, and just view a different, so you can build behind something.
Yeah.
If you scroll down, what else do we have?
Um, Play well.
An
Here it
end.
says your adventure starts now. Play your way.
So you have a campaign and an endless game mode. So which means that you probably have you have the narrative to follow, which at some point you complete the game. But you also have the endless game mode to just see how long you last, I suppose.
Yeah, it says both solo and cooperative multiplayer experience. Dynamic 3D engine. Can you survive the dynamic, diverse, robust, detailed, and unquestionably deadly world of Catan?
Yeah, because it was procedurally generated, so there's that replayability, some of that replayability there.
Hmm.
Very good looking outfits as well.
Science fiction settings. We can see some harvesting and UIs, robust research and crafting, scan, collect, mine, and scavenge the planet's exotic materials while utilizing the deep and rewarding research and crafting systems to survive and thrive the dying planet and its often aggressive inhabitants. Ooh, intuitive base building and power grid system.
So that's what that was. It's sort of like you have to feed structured electricity and potentially generate said electricity from generators or whatever.
Yeah,
That's very good, like factorial like and such.
yeah, and I like they say build, expand, and defend your base. So yeah, cool. Narrative
And then
driven
the
quest.
narrative side.
What is now the word narrative means?
Narrative is basically like story driven. It's like the quests aren't just some randomly generated thing, but there's some story, some narrative behind it. That actually immerse you into it, and not just you go in there, to a village, you find a person that just says, "Get me 5 oranges," and gives you a reward, and that's it.
Hmm.
There's an actual story and a narrative to follow.
Oh, yeah, okay. And in a devolving world, ripped apart by onslaught of dark rifts, Catan once thriving biomes are being overtaken by dangerous hazards and chaotic weather fallouts. Do you have what it takes to survive?
I guess we'll see, Dvalin. You're gonna have to do that video, and we'll see if you have what it takes to survive.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, as all other games have both good reviews, bad reviews, but of course, it has mostly positive. But yeah, I agree. I have to play the game and try it out, and give both the honest feedback. But before, we're gonna mention now the second key we're gonna give out. And if you already have got the first key, well, please don't take this key. Save it for another listener. But we're gonna give out the second key here, and the 3 other keys are gonna be in the description on the podcast, and it's gonna be on all the different podcasts platforms. So it's gonna be in the description and on Apple's. It's gonna be on the Spotify's, on Google's, on Amazon's, all of them, Pandora, all of them. But yeah, the second key here is you get ready, go to Steam, click Add Key, and you're gonna put in C32WX hyphen XA4CY hyphen JKTRD. Good luck with trying to put that in with my Danish accent. Hopefully you.
It's the added difficulty, so that this isn't the first person that comes gets it. You have to decipher it.
Like the robots scanning podcasts for keys, it will be like error, error, error. Okay. Well, I mean, it looks like an interesting game. I've not really played a lot of like games like this. It's not really my genre, but I'm still giving it a go. It seems interesting and definitely worth checking out.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, and again, thanks to Boast and the team, Deep Silver and Playcorp Studios for again also giving us the keys here and the opportunity to highlight this game for everyone who's listening. And this was episode 11. So, Lumio, do you have like anything you just want to throw before we end?
I think it was a very informative one. I think there's a lot of nice new games emerging that can be good to discuss as time goes by and more information comes out. I'm really excited for the Riot MMO and to see what bits we get. Well, it's probably going to be a long time till we can discuss it better. I'm also now quite interested in the survival game from Blizzard and see what comes out of that. Yeah, hopefully we get more tidbits, like significant tidbits, in the near future.
Yeah. And a shout out to one of our listeners called Jumpy. He's been listening to all our episodes. He's a truck driver. He also drives like around and salting the ways. He's basically helping us not to drive in chaotic in the ice whilst it's snowing. He's driving all the big things on the roads, and he's always listening to us while driving on the roads. So
Thank you very much.
yeah, and I'm glad we can help him doing his day with our talk.
Indeed.
And yeah, but yeah, I guess that's it then. So everyone, thanks for watching and thanks for listening. Again, you can find the podcast on basically any podcast app by searching for Gaming Landscape Podcast. You can also find it on YouTube by going to youtube.com/DvalinDK. That's also where I do my other content, but you will also find all the podcast episodes over there. And Alumio, you will be finding him. Well, you will definitely find him either in our guild Discord, but you will definitely find him on the Core Punk Discord. Yes. And trust me, you just look in the game chat and you will find him. So, let's say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Have a good one.